Let me ask y'all this.
For real.
Yeah.
When
For
we
real.
so I
God.
think this is happening. Y'all tell me, but we're talking about competitiveness, and when we just talk about that, it sounds great. But I think where it goes wrong is when another thing comes into it, which is envy. Right? I mean, so we're not like when I hear you talk about competitiveness, you're like, I'm fiercely competitive, right? And if it's just about that, yes. But when envy or jealousy or bitterness comes up into that competitiveness, that's what we're really talking about, right?
I got a little bit. I got a little bit
pollutes
of
it.
that for sure, without it controlling me. I don't think, because when I see Adam Driver, Timothy Chalamet, Jesse Plemons, these guys getting all the attention,
Yeah.
I'm just like, somebody give me another lead role. Give me another lead role.
And I think that's natural. Like I don't want to take away from that. I think that's I'm not saying it's naturally
I don't even
good
know
all
if
the
it's
time.
good or bad. I just know it's true.
Well,
It's a driver is all I'm saying.
yeah,
Like, it's a driver,
sure.
right? And you need a driver if you're going to be fiercely competitive. You gotta look at the guy next to you and go, all right, he's the first string quarterback and I'm the second string quarterback and I'm pissed. How'd I get on the field?
Yeah,
You got to have the drive. And I think in society we try to go, oh no, just be happy for everybody. If you lose, it's okay. Like everybody gets a
participation
trophy.
awards. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not the answer either.
It's going on.
Yes.
Amidst everything. Yeah.
Well, and when you're put into competition or you're put into aggression for the first time as an adult, it's hard to handle the same way as if you grew up without a father and you haven't been fathered in these things, right? So like controlled aggression, right? I would say like another thing that dads need to be considering, boys, is like controlled aggression. How do I make sure that my boys are inside of controlled aggression? You know, my dad used martial arts as a young age. Like that's where I was at.
Brilliant.
Right. And so it teaches you controlled aggression, right? It teaches you how to compete and have honor, how to compete with humility. And that doesn't mean less aggressive, but controlled aggression. Right. And so like those are things that men need to be considering with their children as being able to put them in those places at a young age.
And with martial arts, you're also talking methodology, not chaos.
That's right. Yeah.
Because chaos is the guy in the bar who's like, I took some MMA classes.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
8 drinks. I'm
Yeah.
going to go fight this guy in a parking lot. Martial arts is, hey, there's a guy bothering this woman on a city bus.
Yep.
If he gets out of line and touches her one more time, I'm going to twist his wrist and manipulate him to defend her. Like purpose is in there too. Purpose and methodology.
Absolutely. And it's all about who's fathering you in that. So my dad was very blessed to have a man named Ben Kiker. He was one of the first men with Chuck Norris to bring karate to the United States.
Yeah.
And probably the greatest fighter. Like if the MMA was around now, back in his day, he would have been the heavyweight champ. Like 245, moved like a lot, flyweight. I mean, like just ridiculous, right? And my dad will always tell the story. He's like, it changed his life. They were at a gas station one time, and this guy was mouthing, right? And they were on their way to a karate tournament. And Ben could have snapped both of them with like, right, it wouldn't take nothing.
Twig.
And they get in the car, and my dad's mad at Ben because he had let them talk that way. And he's just fuming in the seat. And they get about halfway down the road, and Ben's like, why are you mad? And he's like, because, like, why didn't you handle them? Like, you're going to let them talk to us that way and act that way? And all Ben said was, David, why would you go and do what you know you can do? Why would you go and do what you know you can do?
Who are you proving it
Who are
to?
you proving it to?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we could have snapped them like that, but what's the point?
Yeah.
Who is your ego preaching to you?
Yeah,
Like,
who gets the
that's your
glory there?
ego. That's all that is, right? And so, like that statement, that's a martial artist,
Yeah.
right? That's what you're pointing to. It's the people that you need to be aware of is not the loudmouth. It's the guy in the corner that keeps his mouth shut, that sits there calmly. That's the guy that'll snap your neck, right? It's like typically.
We as a culture tend to glorify ability and action, but really it's in the preparedness.
Yeah.
It's almost more like there's nobility in the Eagle Scout, not in the guy who's licking his lips ready to fight somebody. And it's really about, can you serve a purpose with this thing?
Yeah.
But knowing when not to, because I've had moments where I've just had moments, especially as a father, you're on the lookout too, because you care about your kids. If my kids play sports someday, I have 2 sons and a daughter. If they play sports someday, I will never give a crap whether they win or lose. I will care if they're enjoying themselves in the process. And if and I would not be mad about another kid hurting my kid on the field. That happens. What I will be mad at is if there's a coach who's mistreating my son and making it a negative experience for him. That would be where part of me would flip into righteous anger, or what I would term it, righteous anger, whether it is or not, and pull him aside and go, "Hey, you don't you're taking your anger out on my kid. Do you not like doing this because it's a volunteer thing? Because you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
If you suck at it, don't do it." That version of me would come out and get ugly.
Yeah.
Versus, being reactionary at the hip, being like, my son ran for 42 yards last game. How come you ain't putting him in? Like, I would never react that way.
Yeah.
But if you're mistreating my kid and it's not warranted, I fear for those days to come. What version of me is going to show up? Am I going to be Christ-like, or am I going to just be a dick?
Well, and I'll even say this. I don't mind if my kid loses if he's done everything in his ability to win.
Yeah.
Right. And so
it's hard to have a metric on that, but yeah.
Well, but my point is, like, if my kid goes into the game and he loses because he didn't put the work or the effort in to win, and then he comes out disappointed, I go, son, that's on you.
Yeah.
Right. That's on you. Like, you didn't put, that other kid worked harder than you. He put the dedication in. He did the things that it took to win, and you just walked out. And it doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. If you don't work hard, you don't get the roles.
Yeah.
Right. If I don't work hard, my business goes, I get beat. Right.
Yeah.
So what I want to instill in my kid is, some days you're just going to run into somebody that's better than you.
Yeah, totally.
And that's just part of life.
Bigger, meaner dog.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're just better than you, right? But if you put everything that you have into winning, because you've committed yourself, you've dedicated yourself to your craft, to what you wanted to be good at, if you've done that, then we're good, right? Because some days you just lose. That's part of life. Yeah. And we can learn from that, but we can't learn from going in half-ass and then coming out a loser and going, oh, why did I lose? Well, I'll tell you why you lost, right? Yeah. So so that's where in competition I'll be with my kid. It's like losing is a part of it, and in fact, in your losses will be the greatest learning curves, right?